friends, welcome to the sixth lecture of electric potential. Today we are going to see the applications of Gauss law. The first application of the Gauss law we have already seen, that is we have obtained the Coulomb's law from the Gauss law. Then the second application of the Gauss law we have is to find out the electric field intensity due to infinite wire, right? Gauss law, it is used to find the electric field intensity due to the multiple charge configurations, right? So let us see for this infinite wire. This is wire having a uniform charge density lambda, right? What is the electric field intensity due to this wire? So I want to calculate electric field intensity at a point P, which is located at a distance r from the wire. Then what is the first step? If I want to calculate electric field intensity using a Gauss law, what is the first step? The step number one is selecting a Gaussian surface. So symmetrical Gaussian surface, if I draw a symmetrical Gaussian surface, then it will look like this. Cylindrical Gaussian surface. Right? I draw a cylindrical Gaussian surface of the length L. Right? Now see here, it is electrical intensity due to infinite wire. So this wire is infinitely long. Now we will prove in the derivation this length of the cylindrical Gaussian surface doesn't make any difference. So let us find out how. So here for this Gaussian surface, right, this is a positive charge, so electric field intensity is radially outward on this surface, right, and the surface area, direction of the area is also in the same direction. If we consider this circular area, then in circular area electric field is upward. For this circular area electric field is upward, but the area vector is directed outward, right? So now in this case, if we apply a Gauss law, then applying Gauss law, E dot dA is equals to 1 upon epsilon times the charge enclosed. How much charge is enclosed by this? So let us say lambda is the charge density, so charge density into length L. This is the charge enclosed. Now simplifying the left side of the equation, electric field E dot dA, let us simplify this. So E dot dA is applicable for the curved area, right, and then for the circular area. So for the curved area and for the circular area. For circular area, EDA cos 90 will give me 0, and for curved area it will be simplified as EDA cos 0. So if you simplify for just for this curved area, electric field outside, what is the integration of the curved area? Curved area for the cylinder. Curved area for the cylinder is 2 pi RL. Right? Now equating with this equation. So E into 2 pi RL is equals to lambda L upon epsilon naught. LL gets cancelled. Electric field is lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught R. This is the electric field intensity due to infinite long wire. In the very beginning I said that the length of this cylindrical Gaussian surface doesn't make any difference. The electric field intensity is directly given by lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught R. Then the third application of the Gauss theorem is electric field intensity due to spherical shell. Spherical shell, right? So what is a shell? Shell means it is hollow from inside. So let me draw a spherical cell. So I have been given a spherical cell, right? And this shell has a charge Q distributed over it, right? And due to Q, it has a surface charge density sigma. I want to calculate, let me write all those things here. Charge Q is uniformly distributed over a shell, right? Shell has radius r. Whenever you write down in the examination, the question will be something like this, that what is the electric field intensity due to a spherical shell? It is a 2 mark or 3 mark derivation, right? So you have to write down this consideration, then you have to draw this diagram. Here I have not written considerations, but you can add the consideration here. Then the diagram and the derivation part is as it is. This will fetch you at least 2 to 3 marks. So this is, I want to calculate electric field intensity due to spherical shell. Now here, three case arises. Either I calculate electric field intensity at a point 1, P1, I calculate electric field intensity at a point P2, and I calculate electric field intensity at a point P3. Right? So let me calculate electric field intensity at a point P1. So case 1, if I write down electric field intensity at P1, which is outside the shell. Electric field intensity outside the shell. So outside the shell I want to calculate. So what will I do? Simple. The step 1, select a Gaussian surface. So I will select a Gaussian surface, a spherical Gaussian surface. Let us say this spherical Gaussian surface has a radius R1. Now for this, if I apply a Gauss law, so applying a Gauss law, what will I get? Surface integral of E dot dA will be equal to 1 upon epsilon. How much charge is enclosed by this Gaussian surface? So it is written charge Q is uniformly distributed, so charge Q is enclosed, right? So electric field E and integration of the area. What will be the integration of this Gaussian surface? It is 4 pi R1 square, right? Gaussian surface has a radius R1. So Q by epsilon naught. So electric field intensity is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square. So this is the electric field intensity outside the shell. Simple, right? This just resembles the electric field intensity. Resembles electric field intensity due to point charge. If you remember, this is electric field intensity due to point charge. So shell will produce a same effect at a some distance far as produced by the point charge, right? Then next we want to calculate electric field intensity on the surface. So if I want to calculate it on the surface, then just simple, the radius, right? I can substitute radius R1 as the radius of the shell. So case 2, electric field intensity on surface, or you can say as per the written at a point P2, that also you can give as a heading, electric field intensity on P2. Since P2 is on the surface, you can use this general word, electric field intensity on the surface. Now if you simplify this, for this one, electric field intensity will be just substituting R1 equal to R. So this equation gets modified as, you can write down here, and then you can add a statement. 1 will be modified as, 1 can be modified as E will be AQ by R square, right? If you further simplify this, that will be as it is, 4 pi epsilon naught, it will be Q upon 4 pi R square upon epsilon naught, right? This is charge upon area, so it will give a charge density. So electric field will be sigma upon epsilon naught. So electric field on the surface is sigma upon epsilon naught. Actually this is not on the surface, just above the surface. It is very difficult to calculate electric field on the surface. It is a very complicated topic. This electric field is just near to the surface, but not on the surface. However, we have written on the surface. For the school level it is okay, but not for the university level. Next case which we are going to discuss is the case 3, right? That is inside, right? Now to calculate electric field intensity inside, that is at a point P3, I draw a Gaussian surface of a radius R3. So inside, again you should write here that drawing a Gaussian surface of the radius R3 and then applying a Gauss theorem, what it will be? E dot dA is equals to 1 upon epsilon times how much charge is enclosed? How much charge is enclosed by this Gaussian surface? 0. This Gaussian surface is not enclosing any charge. Charge is on the surface, right? Charge is on the surface. Nothing is there inside. It is hollow. So it is 0. Hence electric field is 0 inside the shell. So that is the electric field intensity due to spherical shell. Then the next fourth one we have electric field intensity due to non-conducting charged solid sphere. Fourth one, electric field intensity due to non-conducting charged solid sphere. It is solid throughout, it has a material throughout. What will happen if you select a conducting sphere? That is question to you. Keep thinking, we'll discuss at the end of this derivation. So let us see again, electric field intensity due to a solid sphere. So this is a solid sphere given to me, it has a radius r, right? Here we forgot one important thing, that is drawing a diagram to represent the variation of the electric field intensity. So how does this electric field intensity for the shell varies? Let me drop this and write down, and then we'll come back to this topic. So variation of electric field intensity due to shell, spherical shell, how it will be? So that is just we plot a graph, right? This is the electric field intensity, this is the distance. So exactly at a radius r, at distance equal to r, there is some electric field intensity. Inside it is 0. So here this is inside part electric field intensity is 0. So we have proved here. And outside electric field intensity varies at square of the distance. So outside, since it is varying square as a distance, the graph will be a curve. So it is inversely proportional to the 1 upon r square. This is variation of electric field intensity due to a spherical shell. This diagram, it is asked for the 1 marks in the exam. Now let us move on to our new topic, that is electric field intensity due to non-conducting spherical, non-conducting solid sphere, right? So I have been given a solid sphere. This solid sphere has a radius r. Now again 3 cases arises. First case is electric field intensity at a point P1 which is outside, then electric field intensity at a point P2 which is on the surface, and then the electric field intensity for the point that is inside. Right, so this is solid sphere of the radius r. At point P1 I want, then I want at P2, and then I want at the point P3. P3 is inside. So let us start. So in the first case, right, I want to calculate electric field intensity outside. Case number 1, outside, or you can say at a point P1, right? This point P1, it has a radius R1. So what will be the electric field intensity? So as per the step 1, we have drawn a spherical Gaussian surface, right? If the Gaussian surface is spherical, you don't have to worry about the angle between E and dA. That is the good thing about a spherical Gaussian surface, because for a spherical Gaussian surface, E dot dA, angle between electric field is radially outward, right? And if you consider area vector, for this area vector, its direction is also outward. So the angle is 0. So you can directly write down EDA. So again, applying Gauss law, E dot dA is 1 upon epsilon times. How much charge is enclosed by this sphere? Let us say the sphere is having some charge Q. So charge Q is enclosed by this sphere. Now simplifying electric field. What is the area of this sphere? Area of this sphere is 4 pi R1 square. So that is Q by epsilon naught. So electric field will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R1 square. Capital R1 square. So this again resembles the electric field intensity due to a point charge, right? So it is just similar like a shell. So this solid sphere will also behave like a point charge if you calculate electric field intensity outside. Now let us see electric field intensity inside, and then we look out for the outside. So second case, electric field intensity at a point P3, right? That is inside the sphere, and that inside the sphere, if I take, it will have a radius. Let us say it has a radius R3. It has a radius r3. Now let us try to calculate. It will be little bit complicated. Please pay attention. So it will be again applying Gauss law. E dot dA is 1 upon epsilon times the charge enclosed. Now here charge enclosed will be different because the charge is distributed throughout the sphere. It is a non-conducting solid sphere. So charge is distributed throughout. Again, please recollect the question which I asked. What happens if it is a conducting solid sphere? Still that question is held, right? You will have to answer out. So here, what will be the charge enclosed by this sphere? So charge enclosed will be charge density. What is the charge density? Rho, right? Upon area. What is the area of this sphere? So area of this sphere is 4 pi r square. Right? Charge per unit volume. So 4 by 3 pi r cube. Charge. It is a solid sphere, so it has a volumetric charge density. So charge enclosed will be density upon volume. Charge enclosed will be density upon volume. Right? We know that density is charge per unit volume. So charge will be density into volume. It will be density into volume. Volume is 4 by 3 pi r3 cube. Now again simplifying electric field, what will be the area of this sphere? Area will be 4 pi r3 square. Correct? So it will be 4 by 3 rho as it is, then numerator pi r3 square upon epsilon naught. 4 pi gets cancelled, r3 square and cube gets cancelled, r3 cube it is. So electric field will be rho r3 by 3 epsilon naught. This is the electric field intensity inside, right? And similarly, if you want electric field intensity on surface, right, or if you take a point P2, then what will be the value of R3? R3 will be equal to R. So electric field intensity rho R by 3 epsilon naught. This is the electric field intensity on the surface, rho R by 3 epsilon naught. Now again, if we draw a graph to show the variation of electric field intensity due to conducting, non-conducting solid sphere, right? So again, if you see, draw a graph, this represents the distance, right, and this represents the electric field intensity. What will be the electric field intensity at the center? At center, radius will become 0, so electric field also will be 0. As radius increases, right, from inside the radius is 0. As radius increases, electric field will also increase. So from inside, this is on the surface. Here, distance is exactly equal to the size of the sphere. So inside, electric field intensity varies inversely to the distance. But as soon as it comes outside variation is square. So outside the variation will be curved. So electric field intensity varies inversely to the square of the distance. Again, this is the important graph. If you have liked our lecture, please subscribe, comment, share. Thank you.